Hello everyone, welcome to another Everyday Carry video. This is the February 2024 edition. If you have seen my last Everyday Carry video that you can see in the info tab above, you might have remembered that I like to switch out my Everyday Carry quite often, to be quite honest. So it changes monthly depending on the items that I want to try out, or yeah, I just want to switch it up a little. And in this edition, I have a couple of more tech items that I'm really excited to show you, and also a new bag that I have been testing out. This is the Tomtoc T21. I need to superimpose it somewhere in here. Sling bag in the size S, which is a 4-liter sling bag. I chose this white version because I do like to, I know white is not necessarily a color, but I got a little bit sick of just black bags, and I chose this kind of, I would say, Stormtrooper white because it is great on a motorcycle. It's still winter, so I'm not riding, but I can imagine this being on the bag while I'm riding my motorcycle, and this being very visible and therefore increasing the likeliness of other people seeing me when I'm riding my motorcycle. This is a very well-made bag. What's so great about this bag is actually the way the shoulder straps are attached. So usually a sling bag has the straps attached to either side of the bag, but in this case one is on the left side that you can see here, and the other one is on the top. So when you put it on your front or on your back, the sling bag, instead of being like this on your back, it is actually in a horizontal position, which is actually really great. I like this a lot, and I will look forward to testing more sling bags that have this arrangement of the shoulder strap. While the bag is very well made, this Cordura fabric is great, and despite it being a white fabric, it didn't gather that much dirt. It is easy to wipe off. You have a couple of compartments to which I will get in a second. The zippers are YKK. That being said, while it is very well made, it is somewhat, I would say, boring, dare I say, from the look of it. I'm not a big fan of this huge logo here. Especially, I'm sorry Tomtoc, I do like this bag, but it does look it does look cheap. I'm really sorry to say that, Tomtoc, but this huge logo, and I'm not that big a fan of this font, it just doesn't look that great. I would go with a slightly more subtler, or at least cooler logo, or I don't know. At least it's not like huge in the middle. I like the asymmetrical positioning of the logo. That's fine by me. Then also, what I do not like about it is very simplistic in the compartment layout in the main compartment, to which I will get in a second. So you have the main compartment, obviously, with a dual zipper and a front quick access compartment, and another one that is a little bit better hidden in the back. Let's start with the front one, which brings us to the first item, which is my new favorite knife. This is the Civivi Sendy flipper knife with a G10 handle and a flipper opening, one-handed flipper opening, a liner lock, and this is, let me just double check, because this is a different style of blade shape that I haven't seen before, so I have to look it up. It is a so-called spay point, and what I liked about this looks so much different than the knives that I usually have reviewed. It somewhat looks like a butter knife. I know that might sound weird, but I do like it that it looks like a bread knife and therefore isn't as intimidating. But that is not to say that this is a very sharp knife, and it is very useful. I really like this knife. This has a Nitro V blade material and a hardness of 59-61 HRC. I have no clue what that means, if that is a good steel or not, but for me, from what I have been using it for, this is a very good knife. It is a straight edge, no serrated blade, which I also like a lot, so it's really good to cut boxes open and stuff like that. It has a very satisfying opening mechanism, and it sounds great. It has ceramic ball bearings And what I do like about this knife so much, maybe you have listened to my podcast, and I always mention this whenever I talk about blades with someone else, that these kind of knives, usually compared to my Swiss Army knives, they don't have any way to actually open a bottle. However, this has a G10 handle, which I'm not sure what G10 actually is. I would say it's some form of plastic. I'm really sorry that maybe some of the knife enthusiasts scoff now that I don't know this kind of stuff, but I'm very new to knives, and especially because in Germany knife laws are very strict. I only carry this at home, so even though I call this everyday carry, I do not carry this on the streets because it's not street legal in Germany. I only use it at home, so I'm not that familiar with all of the materials. But the G10 somewhat acts like, in Germany, probably in USA as well, we open bottles. If you don't have a bottle opener available, we usually use a big lighter, and the plastic of the big lighter kind of grabs to the bottle, and then you hold the bottle here and open it like this. And the G10 actually allows me to open bottles that way. It will leave marks right here on your knife, which honestly, I'm really comfortable with. These knives are tools, they're supposed to be used. If there is a scratch mark, I don't care, to be quite honest. But the next thing that makes this knife so cool compared to other knives and reminds me of my Swiss Army knives is actually here in the back you have a pair of tweezers, which is really useful if you have a splinter or something. And then also you have a toothpick, which honestly I don't use. I would never use it because this is made out of metal. This is really pointy. I think although toothpicks made out of wood are not that great because they break and they splinter, but I feel like because they are able to break, it is less likely that you can damage your gums, and therefore I would never use a metal toothpick, but that's just me. But it's great to have, right? So this is a very unique thing about this Civivi Sendy flipper knife. This is really my favorite EDC knife at the moment. I love this thing. So that's what I keep here in the front pocket. You actually can also keep other items like your keys inside. You have 2 extra slots here, but these slots, they only have this elastic, so things can jump out, and this is another reason why there are some flaws with this bag, let's say it that way. These elastic pockets, they don't keep stuff in place. You have this leash for a key, but yeah, I don't really particularly like these kind of slots, but I don't like them on other bags as well because stuff just jumps out of it and it's kind of useless in my humble opinion. In the back we have another zippered pocket. In here I keep my Orbitkey. This is one of the items that never changes. I really love the Orbitkey. It's, in my humble opinion, one of the best key organizers. Also my favorite wallet, which is the Ekster Wallet, that has this mechanism to fan out your cards. I really like this. You have a slot for cash. And yeah, this wallet will always stay in my EDC, as well as the Orbitkey organizer. By the way, all of these items will be in the description below, so if you want to buy any of those items, please consider using one of those affiliate links. With those you won't pay more, but you will support the channel with a small kickback of that particular sale. Also, if you want to see a review of the Ekster or the Orbitkey, I will link them in the description above. Now we go into the main compartment of this Tomtoc sling bag, and when you open it, first you will actually see my phone, which is the Fold 5. I really love this phone. This has been my workhorse. This would be in here, but I had to take it out to look at my notes, and I love this phone. This phone is my favorite work tool because yeah, I just don't need to carry a laptop. I can fold it up, answer emails, work on notes, on scripts. And if I don't need to work, I just go in this mode and then I have a regular phone. It is heavier than a phone, but then again, I only need to bring this instead of a phone and a laptop or maybe a tablet. So I do not mind the heft of this phone. This has been the best investment in 2023 ever. I love this thing. Now to the new item that is in my everyday carry and that I love a lot. This is this has a difficult name, so I need to take a look. Anbernic RG35XX Horizontal Edition. This is a gaming device and I love this because this is great to play all of the old games that I grew up with on Super Nintendo or on PlayStation or Dreamcast, Game Boy. And this has been such an amazing item for me to, pass the time. I noticed whenever I'm sitting somewhere that I start to kind of look through social media, and I really wanted to stop scrolling through social media. So I installed chess on my phone, and whenever I noticed, oh, I'm just wasting time on my phone on social media, I switched on the chess game. But then I stumbled upon this Anbernic RG35XXH and play old games like Contra 3, and I do love this device so much because I can play the games that I grew up with. The haptic feel of the buttons is amazing. You have actually a mini HDMI port out, but also 2 USB-C ports. So you can, I haven't done this, but you can attach it to your TV and then attach 2 controllers and actually play with a friend all Super Nintendo games. But for me, this is a device that I carry around and then just play whenever I need to pass the time. The screen is amazing. Unfortunately, when starting this video, the battery actually died, and that is one of the only negative things about this device. The battery actually drains whenever this is in standby mode. So you are playing and then maybe you want to stop playing and then you just switch it to standby mode, the battery will still drain. So essentially this will run out after, I would say, 24 hours or something, if it just lays around. That is really the only downside. There is your option to shut it down, but then obviously you can't just turn it on and play the game from where you have stopped. So I do prefer having it in standby mode and be able to quickly just turn it on and play a couple of minutes of whatever game. And yeah, the haptics are great. The buttons feel amazing. They have a really good clicky feel to them. And yeah, I can highly recommend this device. As I said, the only downside that I personally found is that the battery isn't that great. Everything else is amazing. The controls, there is no lag or anything. The screen is amazing and looks very crisp. Again, I'm really sorry that I didn't charge the battery before starting this recording. And yeah, highly recommend the Anbernic RG35XX Horizontal. There is also a vertical version that looks like an old Game Boy, but I kind of wanted something where the ergonomics are a little bit better. Obviously, if it's like this, it is okay-ish, but it is getting very cramped, so I rather have this kind of form factor. So highly recommend this. As I said, the battery life isn't that great. Also on my Fold, the battery life is great. However, I sometimes need to top it up with some power. So the next device that I always carry, or at least use every single day, is the Sharge 170 power bank. I reviewed the other power bank from Sharge in the video that you can also find in the info tab above. But this one, I like this a lot, and maybe to explain a little bit why I use a power bank every single day, it is actually when I'm sitting on the couch, at least my couch, or I'm sitting at the dinner table, when I'm just using the dinner table to hang around and maybe use the little device here. There is no power outlet that close, and I don't want to have an extension cord running through my whole living room just to power one of my devices while I'm sitting at the couch. Therefore, I use all of these power banks. They are somewhere around my home and I can always grab this and just charge my devices. Why this Sharge 170 is great, or why I prefer this at the moment, is On one side, it has a huge display that gives me all of the information that I need, from the power that's still left in the device, the output, the input. You have 3 outlets, 2 USB-C, 1 USB-A. But what's so great about this charger compared to the previously one is that this has a so-called low power mode. And I have my favorite headset are these biodynamic Bird ANCs. I love these headphones because when I am using Bluetooth earbuds that are too close to my ear canal, I actually get headaches. So I'm using these because all of the Bluetooth tech is in this neckband. So it is around my neck and I usually do not get headaches when I use these. But most of the earphones and earbuds have the so-called low power mode or low power charging. With most or with some power banks, like for instance this Sharge Storm 2, at some point when the charge of my earphones have reached a specific capacity, the power delivery or the power that that device needs gets to a lower voltage, and the power bank thinks, oh, the device is full, and it stops charging. The Sharge 170 has the so-called low power mode, and with that it recognizes if that device is in low power delivery mode, or I'm not sure if that's actually the right word for it, but it detects that a low powered device is attached to it and will still keep charging. Therefore, I really like this. This is actually also the case with some smartwatches where it actually thinks, oh, is the device already full, although it's in low power mode. So I really like this power bank. This has a capacity of 24,000 milliamp hours and a maximum output of 170 watts. Supposedly it says it is airline safe. As far as I know, the airline is looking at the output and not necessarily at the capacity, but I can be mistaken. So always double check with your airline if these types of power banks are allowed to carry on board. But I use these items a lot when I'm at home, but also to keep it inside my EDC sling bag, this Tomtoc sling bag, to charge my devices like this gaming device or my Fold 5. So highly recommend this. This is really huge. There are smaller ones, but I do like this a lot because it gives me a lot of power to charge all of my devices. So the next item in my EDC is my flashlight. This is the Wuben X3 flashlight. Why do I always carry a flashlight with my EDC? Because some of you might say, hey, you have a flashlight in your phone, right? Why don't you use that? This is an expensive phone and I have a dog, so I walk my dog every night and I do not want to drop my expensive phone while I'm handling the dog leash, doggy bag and whatever device to light up the ground. So there is the high likeliness that I would drop my phone. Therefore, I rather have a flashlight. It has a much better output. It illuminates the whole street, especially in wintertime or autumn when there are a lot of leaves on the ground. Having a bigger output is much more helpful when you are handling a dog at night. So this is the Wuben X3. As you might have seen in my previous videos, I love the Wuben X series, be it the X0, the X1 or this one, the X2. Of the smaller ones of the Wuben X series, this is probably the biggest, big in air quotes, because as you can tell, it is still fairly compact. I would say this is about the size of, I don't know, maybe until here, of those fuel lighters, you know, the ones that you fill with fuel, and then maybe this one as well. So I would say in terms of sizing and thickness as one of those lighters. In terms of height, maybe the height of, I don't know, a pack of gum, maybe? I would say that. So, and you have 3 LEDs overall in the lighting department. Then you have underneath this very tactile feeling button, a USB port, so you can charge it via USB-C as well. So having a power bank is great to charge not only my phone, my gaming device, my headphones, my watch, but also my flashlight. This has a button lock. You have to press it 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. and then you turn it on. You have 3 different brightness modes. So there's one was the lowest, this is the second one, and this is the 3rd brightest normal mode. So the low mode is 5 lumens, the medium is 100 lumens, and the high mode is 400 lumens. But then you also have the turbo mode, which is 2500 lumens, and you can get to that if you double click it. Bam! And then you have the high output, which is also great to blind an attacker. If you get in a situation where you have to fight off someone, then being able to blind someone is actually, in my humble opinion, a very valid option to give you somewhat of head start. If you, well, I would recommend to always run. To blind someone, it gives you a couple of seconds of a head start, and then you can just run away. This is made out of aluminium and is so well made. It has become one of my favorite lights. But it is a flashlight, there's not much to say. You have also strobe modes if you push it 3 times, and here again, if you push it 4 times, then you go into button lock mode. It flashes a couple of times to tell you, hey, I'm going into button lock mode, and then nothing happens if you press it. So this has been one of my favorite flashlights at the moment. Alright, before we finish up this video, the last item on this EDC list is a returning guest. You have probably seen my smartwatch. This is the Samsung Watch 4. Most of you already know that I am a huge enthusiast of mechanical automatic watches, and because I'm wearing my smartwatch, I actually wear it because it has a vibration motor and it is a great tool to wake me up without waking up anyone else, but also obviously to count my steps and stuff like that. But I want to wear a mechanical watch from time to time. I'm not yet in a place where I say, okay, I wear both watches, a smartwatch and my mechanical watch. But that being said, I sometimes leave this at home and want to wear my mechanical watch. My favorite watch is the Steinhardt Ocean 500 titanium watch. You can see a review about this watch in the info tab above. From my previous videos, you probably remembered that I always had this leather NATO strap on there, and I love NATO straps and I prefer them, to be quite honest, but I like to switch it up from time to time. And that's the beauty with most watches, that you can customize them to make them your own or to make them fit your daily needs, be it because of fashion or because you just want to change it up. And just with like clothing, with mechanical watches, it is quite common to change the watch bands. And as you see, this is my leather NATO strap from Steinhardt, and now I'm using these straps. They are from the company Artem, A-R-T-E-M. I think it's called Artem. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. A-R-T-E-M. And this is the so-called HydroFlex watch strap. This is a completely vegan-made strap. On one side you have the FKM rubber base, and on the other side you have a synthetic material that is embossed to look like sailcloth. So overall, while it is vegan made, it is looking very organic. And what I like about this and why I changed to this strap is you can see the see-through bag, because with the NATO strap, usually that bag is completely covered. As you can tell from this leather has aged, in my humble opinion, beautifully. Obviously, there's a lot of wear and tear. I always take care of it, but you see a lot of patina and stuff like that, which is why I do like this thin synthetic material of this Artem strap. Obviously, again, it is synthetic, it's rubber, it's not going to patina in any shape or form. As far as I know, I've been wearing this for, I would say, 3 months now, and it basically looks new. And this is the great thing about synthetic, why is that word so difficult to say? Synthetic material, that it will stay fresh, let's say that way, and look new very long. And why I like this kind of strap at the moment, at least, is because I can take a look at the innards of a mechanical watch. And that's basically why I love mechanical watches. On one hand, they look beautiful, but on the other hand, what I like about them is the mechanical marvel that is a mechanical watch. You can see all of these small little details that someone put together with a lot of attention to detail. That's what I love about mechanical watches. For me, it's a mechanical marvel to have this on your wrist. That is why I love wearing mechanical watches. And that is why I really love these straps from Artem, because yeah, they feel very comfortable. It's a soft rubber and it looks fresh the whole time. It's very comfortable on your wrist as well. And again, I prefer NATO straps, but being able to switch it out from time to time is amazing. And yeah, we'll definitely switch it. And as you can see, the NATO strap has a lot of these metal loops and you can slightly feel them or snag on your clothing a little bit. So having less of that is really good with these straps. And yeah, Artem Hydroflex strap in gray with gray stitching. Yeah, really like this. So this has been in my EDC whenever I'm not wearing my smartwatch. And yes, those were all of the items that I carry on a daily basis at the moment as my everyday carry inside this Tomtoc sling bag. That is, as I said, I like the white look and the design of the shoulder strap is great. I do prefer this. In the future, I actually only want sling bags where one strap end is on one side and the other one is on the top. I think that makes carrying it so much better. But yeah, inside the main compartment you have these slots that, in my humble opinion, aren't that useful because there is no elastic to keep items in place. Items can still jump out. This one has an elastic, but truth to be told, it is not very strong. I would have preferred zippered compartments, or at least one zippered compartment to keep smaller items in place. But yeah, that's missing. But overall, this is it's a good choice. It's a solid choice. Not the best that I have seen in terms of compartment design, but it is very well made. Aquaguard zippers, great fabrics, great stitching, and yeah, but nothing special. There are better ones outside, but I still would say if you choose this Tomtoc, you're not going to be disappointed in terms of durability and in terms of looks, I would say. So yeah, that was my everyday carry of February 2024. Let me know what you think about all of these items, and if you have any questions, comment below. And also don't forget, all of these items will be linked down below, and if you consider using one of those affiliate links, you won't pay more, but you will support the channel with a small kickback of that sale. So yeah, if you have any questions, comment below, and if you enjoyed this video, click the like button. And please feel free to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell icon so you won't miss the next videos. Also don't forget to check out my Instagram, second channel and podcast at You Know The Bone. Stay safe and healthy everyone, and I see you in the next video. Thank you very much.